Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, welcome to our week 8, day 2, which is our last gap meeting. Um, Super bittersweet. This is a lot less formal than our usual meetings. We don't really have any content for you today. It's mainly just check-ins, how you feeling about gap. Do you feel like you've are in a good place, both in your products and also mentally and some of the knowledge that you know now about the GRFP. Um, yeah, with that, we're gonna get started. I know, don't worry, we'll still be here, still be able to answer all of your questions for Gap, but this is the end of the more content stuff we have. Like always, we have our warm-up question. And today's is, what is your favorite smell or scent? Uh, I think, like personally, I have a couple of different scents, like for different occasions. I feel like I like my room to smell very citrusy.
Hmm.
But like my favorite scent to actually smell right now is like jasmine. I feel like it's a very
Good
summer
one.
scent, right? Right.
Yeah.
What about you, Emily?
I agree. It really just depends. I think I've been liking eucalyptus a lot lately because, to kind of wind down and relax. That's a good one for me. I usually like very clean smelling scents, if that makes sense. So like you said, like the citrus, love, that kind of thing. Ooh, lavender. I used to like lavender more. Unfortunately, I had a not so fun experience with the lavender latte when I worked at a coffee shop, and that has kind of ruined lavender for me.
I like lavender, but the funny thing is I used to have a lot of lavender stuff and then I didn't use it because Ingrid's allergic. So Ingrid would come over and like study and they would have allergic reactions and I'm like, lavender's gotta go. So I haven't
Oh,
had lavender scented things for a while, but
that's
I
kind of
love the
sweet
smell.
though.
Yeah, but Ingrid gets like, I think it's like mostly sneezy.
Yeah.
And I felt so bad because at first I didn't know and I was like, oh my gosh, I've given you an allergic reaction and I didn't know. I'm so sorry. But it was like, what? That's cool. Um, yeah, but it does smell good. I literally have lavender sitting right next to me. Bring it back in. Yeah, definitely don't want Ingrid to like die as I'm studying. That would be bad.
Yeah. We love Ingrid. Can't do that to Ingrid.
Well,
You know what other scents love though?
hmm.
The scent of like fresh baking, like when you walk into the house, or like the scent of like when you come downstairs and your mom is cooking breakfast on the weekend. Those are the
Like,
best.
is it like cooking in general, or is it like some of the
Mm.
spices?
I feel like the cooking in general, but specifically certain spices will remind me of like my mom and like her
Like,
cooking.
I like the smell of cooking, but specifically when my dad uses rice wine vinegar. I don't know
Mm.
why, but we just like use it a lot because it's in a lot of like Asian cuisine. So like I know whenever he's cooking with that, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be so good.
I love it when people cook with garlic too. That doesn't
Garlic's
unlock
good.
as much memories, but I love garlic.
Do you like the garlic when it's like cooked too and like caramelized?
Hmm. I do not discriminate against my garlic.
All garlic is good.
All garlic is good. Gotta fight off the vampires somehow.
Exactly. Can't be living forever. This world sucks enough. I'm good. My lifetime is good. Then I'm done. Okay, on that depressing note, that's the
Ooh,
end of our warm-up.
rosemary. Rosemary is a good one.
That's another like good cooking one, but then also just
Hmm.
like general smell as well.
Yeah, I do like rosemary. I forget about that one sometimes. Or like basil, another one. Just herbs, period.
Thyme is another good one. Good sense.
Yep. Never a bad time for time.
I set you up and I should have seen that coming.
You're
I
so
should
good.
have.
Uh-huh.
Yep, yep. I should have seen that going.
I would really cook more, honestly, but I'm so scared of running out of time.
I too much, not enough time on your hands, you know?
Mm-mm. Mm.
Yeah.
But I guess it was meant to be. Ooh, on Vine.
Both like a compliment and an insult at the same time.
It's a compliment to my dad jokes.
Yeah, like I don't know if I'm like old, but like also like Vinyl's funny, but it makes me feel old. Dude, I talking about Vine, sometimes I make references of Vine things like my sister, and she doesn't know. And then I feel really old. And she's only like 4 years younger than me. And I'm like, oh, no. Yeah,
So funny.
exactly. Ugh, yeah. And then I'm like, I just made that free Shavakadu reference and no one got it and no one laughed. And I feel like I wasted it.
I just saw my friend had a sticker that said, "Look at all these chickens," and there was like it was like a bunch of geese or whatever.
Okay. Exactly. So good. All right.
So funny.
I think we've been off topic for long enough now.
But never. This is our last little ramble for Gap. Anyway, our agenda for today is check-in and then goodbye. I know that face is so sad. Lexi, that was so depressing. Okay. So our first, check-in discussion, question. We just had a couple of questions, for you guys to reflect, think about, but also just, so we have an idea on how, helpful these were for you. But the first question is, have you made progress on your GRFP products and which ones? Remember, we consider brainstorming progress because it's a very critical part and honestly the longest part of this application process.
Am I supposed to yap? Sorry.
Sorry, yeah, I did not
To
make
you,
that
up to you.
clear. If you want
Okay.
to,
Um,
yeah.
before I was really nervous, and I guess it's because I didn't like really have the brainstorm and to break it down into like simplified as to what break it down to easily handable pieces that I could work with, like keywords and research interests under specific professors studying specific things. So afterwards, having the resources of what it the GRFP is, how we apply for it, and the materials required for it, made it easier to have those items that I already like brainstormed a little bit and put them into place. So I feel like my world is a little bit more organized. And pieces, yeah, I've developed my personal statement a lot more, my CV, and what else have I research interests and research proposals, like briefly like broken down like a little bit, like with like a little bit of guidance between different, like depending on which PIs could respond, different ways I could take the research. But yeah.
That's amazing progress, I think. Great job. I'm glad to hear that you're able to get stuff a little more organized, and that's going to be a really important part for moving forward and developing the rest of your products. So, yay, that's so exciting. Lexi, do you want to do the next question?
Yeah, I think you kind of already answered this, but are you more confident in your knowledge of the GRFP after these meetings? Because I know we did provide some other resources, like some of the NSF products that they have on their website and also the primer. But did you feel like these meetings help you break down some of that content instead of just reading the entire primer?
Yeah, definitely like a more interactive primer at if that. Like it definitely makes it more handable, more comprehensive, less overwhelming. I feel really less overwhelmed than at the beginning of summer. So I know that I can handle it and I feel a little more confident. So I am still a little bit overwhelmed, but not as much as in the beginning. So yeah, I feel more secure in my research proposals and interest in like how I'm gonna approach it and my items and my personal statements and stuff.
Great. That is exactly how we want you to feel. Unfortunately, the overwhelmed part does not go away anytime soon. You will probably be feeling overwhelmed until you submit it. But I think that's a good thing because this is such like a big application and there are a fair amount of stakes. We want you to feel a little overwhelmed again because this is a lot of effort and a lot of time that's going into this, and it can have really good benefits. But again, we want that happy middle where you feel stress and maybe a little pressure, but no mental breakdowns. That is the area where we want you to thrive in.
I will say too, for us, I think I felt overwhelmed for like most of it. And then all of a sudden, everything fell into place. And I can't tell you what happened, what like it was a couple weeks before the submission and it all just kind of clicked and it was there. Like all of a sudden I had my statement. And I was still revising, of course, but it was there. And I was like, oh my, how did this happen? So it does fall into place eventually. And then you'll feel even more confident, even if you're still a little stressed.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like again it was the like incrementally working on things and you're like, "Oh, I have my full personal statement now." And if
Hmm.
you break it down into those sections of like broader impact, future goals, intellectual merit, at the end you will have the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I know we sound kind of, like a broken record player with a brainstorm. Think about this, think about that, like mind map, mind map, mind map. We know it's tedious. We know it takes time, but trust us, doing that and breaking down all of your thoughts and expanding on them and then organizing them, like you said earlier, really just helps. So when you do sit down to write, it flows a lot easier. And you'll have more cohesiveness that you'll see in our essays, if you go back and read them more. But anyway, moving on, do you have any lingering questions? Is there anything we can clarify, a little bit more? Anything that maybe we actually missed, we didn't, talk about that you wanted to know? Um, Anything at all?
I don't think so. No. I think yeah, I don't think so. I think by having you guys both have already gone through the process, you guys already know like where we're coming from. So you guys have been where we're at. So I think that makes it really that kind of like fulfills all the corners, all the you guys target the main things that like come up. I'm sure if I have like a question I could email you guys. But at the moment I think I'm secure with what I need to know for the GRFP. Thank you.
Yeah, it's exactly what we were hoping for. But yeah, you can always email us and there is a lot to this application, so we really didn't get to like every nook and cranny. We tried to focus on like what we felt was most important, especially with the time that we had. So definitely feel free to go back, look at the primer, read it through more, look at the slides, review stuff. And yeah, you can always ask us questions.
That's pretty much all we have for you today. Um, we do have some more, like some of the slides that we go through every single time. We do, of course, have our summary timeline. Um, Again, this is our version of the recommended timeline. It's a little bit different from the one in the primer, but again, just working on all of these things at the same time. If you have not done those emails, please get them done. It's just best to give the people you're emailing the most time because again, yeah, sometimes are off doing field work or they just don't respond sometimes because life or it's just one of those things. So just keeping all that in mind.
If the semester is starting up too, they're gonna be busy, just like the rest of us. Sorry, Lexi. So we also have kind of end of gap survey. So if you are able to take that at some point, we would greatly appreciate it. It just helps to, reflect on your experience, but also give us some feedback. If there's any way we can improve things. Um, of course, we probably won't be here next year to teach this, but we are, finalizing materials and trying to pass it on so that hopefully other students, maybe like yourself, can take it on next year and help other students with the process. So I did drop the link in the chat. It will probably take about 8 to 10 minutes, just, for reference, but yeah.
And then we have the resources like always. So again, that new office hours that NSF has set up, it is on the 12th of August. So it is coming up. The nice thing about that is it is after the symposium. So if you've completed all your poster and you did great on your presentation, like we know you're going to, then you can start thinking more about the GRFP. And if you have any more questions, whether that be about specific topics, logistics, portal information, always good just to go straight to NSF and ask them. Just Right sessions, we're actually done with our Just Right sessions, but we again will have a bunch of stuff next week in our materials.
I did want to mention soon we're going to be transferring like ownership and everything if it's not already to Natasha. Just so that, our student accounts will get deactivated at some point since we are graduated. Um, so if you for whatever reason are like referencing the links or trying to and they don't work, just email Natasha or URock and somebody should be able to get you access. But anyway. Like Lexi said, we have our Welcome to Feedback Week coming up. So from August 5th to the 8th, so every day, Monday through Friday or Thursday, we'll be offering two different feedback sessions. So we'll have one in the morning or just right or writing feedback from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. This is when you can come work on the GRFP, work on your CV, e-portfolios, abstracts, applications, anything. You can come in, have just designated working time, ask us questions, get feedback, anything that you need. We also are gonna have our presentation practice and feedback sessions every day from 2 to 4 p.m. So this is a great time to come in, practice your poster, practice your oral presentation. Watch out for links from us to sign up just to help keep us, a little organized and to make sure you have a slot that day to present. But even if you have questions on like your outfit, like, does this poster look okay? You've never done this before, you have questions, please come and just talk to us. It's what we're here for. So all the links are there. We do also have individual um, an appointment link as there as well. Yeah.
And again, like Emily said, we are available after the symposium. So if you have any more questions about GRFP or conferences or even like some of those UROC classes, like whether it be Research 300 or most of you are going to be in Research 400 at this point. But if you have any questions, Emily and I have been through all of that, so we can answer anything.
Lexi, can you go back real quick? I just want to say my appointment, please, feel free to book an appointment. My schedule is going to change pretty soon here. I finally got my big girl job. So I'm still, working through all the like the offer letter and like accepting and figuring out my new schedule. But I should be starting about like August 12th or the 14th. So I'm still more than happy to meet and, help with reviewing products. It just might be more after hours. So it might be, like, after 4 or 5, that I will change. So my appointment link might change. I will send an email, when I update it, just so everyone knows. But yeah.
That is all we have for you today. Today was a short meeting. Um, Also, since this meeting was short, if you do want to complete that survey that we put in the chat, please do that. It just gives us more information to go off of and how people next year can improve it. And it just make sure we get the best information out there and provide them with support. Yeah. Thank you again for coming. We really appreciate it.
Yep, so much. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, so sad.
Bye, guys. I guess.
I know. We'll see you soon. We'll see you next week.
I'll see you next week. That's
Presentations.
so
Yep.
right. I'll see you
Exactly.
next week.
Mhm. Yeah.
Bye, guys. Have a good
All
day.
right. You too.
Bye.